famous rabbis of yesteryear. Now, with the Hebrew date, the 8th of Tammuz, Chet Tammuz, marks the Hilula of a really famous rabbi. His name was also popularly known as the Rabbi Shalom Ifergan Z'tl, a very great rabbi of his time. I think he was born around the English year 1906, and he passed away in the year 1994. He was about, let's say, 88 years of age at the time the great rabbi had passed away. Now, it's actually interesting. We have to note from the start that the Ifergan family was a great Torah family for many, many years. I think from his timing, around 435 years, is chronicled over in the Tanya municipality website over here. A really great family, especially of chassidut, of humility, and really brilliant in of itself. I think, interesting enough, I think they trace themselves back to Rabbi Yaakov Ifergan, who was a really, really great rabbi. We're talking about possibly back towards the 17th century era. Great rabbis that studied Kabbalah. They were great Kabbalists of their time, and great Talmidei Chachamim. And I'd recommend everyone to learn more within regards to the great family. I think the original rabbi, the rabbi left Rabbi Ifergan more than 430 years beforehand, let's just say around that time period. Periodicals within regards to Kabbalah, the Perach Shoshan book, I believe, and which worked on chapters of the great work, and I think had close connection with Rabbi Moshe Elbaz, one of the great rabbis of, say, Morocco in of its time, and very, very interesting. Now, let's explore a bit with regards to his direct family heritage. I believe his father's name was Rabbi Chaim, and so that's interesting. He actually himself will go on to get married to Esther, Rabbanit Esther, which we'll speak about in due course. Now, as we said before, the family really came from a great lineage of, let's just say, forefathers in of itself. I believe he himself came from an area called Tiznit in Morocco. I think maybe more the southern part of Morocco this was. And he was actually named after his grandfather, Rabbi Shalom. So we spoke about Tiznit on various occasions. I'm not sure how many years they had been in Tiznit in itself, if the family actually originated from that, but seemingly they were well grounded over there for a long period of time at that stage in time. Now, when he was young, his brilliance and it became apparent that his brilliance within regards to chesed, his kindness, wisdom, his midot, his characteristics was absolutely phenomenal at even a young age. And he would delve into study diligently Torah, all parts of the Torah sphere in of itself. He was well versed in Zohar and the writings of the Ari Yizal, the famous Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Luria Ashkenazi, one of the great Kabbalists of his time, especially in Tzfat during the 16th century. Now, after learning at young age, I think he would spend a long period of time in a small, narrow room, studying Torah day and night, sleeping little and eating a minimum amount, and would actually just delve in so much into the Torah, say within regards to Tikkunim, and it's reported over that in a dream, it appeared to him the famous Tana Rabbi Akiva inside the dream. This was actually chronicled over using my Tzaddik website over here. And at that point in time, because he secluded himself for a long period of time, the Tana would actually tell him to return to his family. He's ready to return to his family, and really came at a great basis in of itself. Now, I think as a trade, he'd also work part-time. He would be in the linen business, fabrics business, as they say, but sachar badim. And it's reported over half of his profits he would make, he would actually give to charity. He was really, really steeped into charity. He would go around every single day, the doors of the poor people, and distributed food to make sure people had things. I think before Shabbat, or during Shabbat itself, the needy, the people that were struggling, would sit around his table and enjoy the Shabbat food, really giving Oneg Shabbat to so many different people, especially in his vicinity, with the greatest mitzvot to do possible. Now, more can be related in regards to the famous rabbi. I think one time he knew that there was a great righteous rabbi that was buried in a specific cave, I think. It seemed risky to actually go to this cave. I think it was called the Mol Nachash, this place was. And many people would not let other people come inside. And because of, let's just say, potential danger or if it not, but he realized a great tzaddik was actually buried there. So he came in, obviously, possibly potentially risking his life, and he knew there was a righteous, great tzaddik that was buried there. He did his best to enter, and he came out, and after a short time after being inside the cave, probably praying at the cave, I would assume, he announced that the cave, this place, is now it's safe for everyone to come. I'll say it in Hebrew over here because it encapsulates this paragraph much better from using my tzaddik website, which I recommend everyone to look at. This was in Morocco. This cave was called. He asked the guards to enter. Who it's a danger to come in, the guard said. A very holy person that was buried there. It was a massive risk of the life for someone to come in. He was fine. He went inside for an hour inside the cave and came out alive. Then I think he announced afterwards it was safe for everyone to come in. Now, later on, shortly afterwards, at one stage, he will actually be fortunate enough to make Aliyah and move to Eretz Yisrael. I think this was Komadi Yehei Tafshin Yud Zayin. He would move with his family to the land of Israel, and he would live in a tzivot, very prominent place. Now, we could actually relate to more. I think later on, his son would be born, I think on Chaf Aleph Kislev, Hei Tafshin Chaf Vav. His son, Rabbi Yaakov Yisrael, also, I think he was nicknamed Harentgen, I believe. A really great rabbi. Now, I think much can be said in regards to his son. It says over, I think they would build, I think, a floor inside, I think, his house, if I'm not mistaken, will become a synagogue and a Beit Midrash, a study hall over there and a synagogue. And many Avrechim Torah learners, married Torah learners, would actually be supported and learn there also. Late at night, various tzaddikim will come in, and there'll be a congregation there with regards to prayers taking place, and especially nighttime would comprise of tefillot, especially for Tiknei Karet. He would spend the night delving into Torah and being awake, really praying and learning for the, let's say, the good fortune, the Hatzlachat Lishuot Am Yisrael, for Am Yisrael to be protected, for salvation to come for Am Yisrael. Sadly passed away in Hei Tafshin Nun Dalet, I believe that was in 1994. I think it was on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. He had sadly passed away, the great rabbi had. And obviously he was buried in Israel, the great tzaddik. And let's see, I think his father, he was named after his grandfather, as we said on the site, Rabbi Shalom. He'd have children, including Rabbi Yaakov Yisrael, who we spoke about before, nicknamed the Harentgen. His daughters included Rabbanit Bruria and Zavit Berebi. I think she got married into the Berebi family, which is another famous rabbinic dynasty, let's just say, of Morocco, I think a Moroccan family, or possibly some of them come from Tunisia also. A lot of the Torah teachings he would actually learn, including teachings of the famous Ben Ish Chai, the Arizal, which we mentioned about before, and also Rabbi Moshe Cordovera, one of the great rabbis of his time. Yeah, especially when he came to Israel. In the Tzivot, he would carry out various charity work, especially work for Pesach, Kimcha de Pircha, really helping the poor, especially on Passover. He would give gifts to the poor, give charity in secret. He helped orphans and widows, and much more. And he passed away, he was 88 years of age at the time the great rabbi passed away. So don't forget to light candles in his memory. Here on the 8th, it happens to be the 8th of Tammuz, marks the Hilula of the really famous rabbi. Much more can be said within regards to his brilliance, his Torah work, his Torah learning. There's so much. I recommend, I think there's actually various different places that actually do, especially on the time period of his Hilula, huge amounts. It was not just that, especially his wife was great tzaddik at Rabbanit Esther, where they really cooked and provided the poor so much on Shabbat, helped them at a tremendous rate, let's just say, in of itself. And he really learned Torah Lishma, going by the let's say, the phrase of Rabbi Meir Bel Hanes, who actually said himself, whoever studies Torah for its own sake, Torah Lishma, is granted many things. And it's absolutely amazing. His courtyard was open to everyone. He used to organize celebrations for the great righteous people, especially when there was a Hilul of great rabbi. He would do a celebration, especially on time of Lag BaOmer, for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Meir Bal Hanes. A great meal. He would, various different piyutim he was expert in, and would incorporate the piyutim, the great Moroccan songs, which really attracted many people. And many people come with him for blessings and brachot. He would speak with great inspiration, great Torah. He would quote the great rabbis from the Gemara, from the Midrashim, and from the Holy Zohar in many of his speeches which he give, and various different commentaries that he would actually provide, and to show the greatness within regards to his home was a house for the sages. And Rabbi Yaakov Yisrael, his son, really illuminated that. This Beit Midrash, which they had, attracted young men, received great scholarship. There was countless miracle stories that actually told over about Rabbi Shalom. Many people came to him seeking salvation and healing if there was a problem, and he would really pray hard, and many different salvations took place. He would preserve the Torah study, especially within regards to Zohar, and huge amount. Many rabbis would actually quote him to. I think he had connection with other famous dignitaries in Israel, especially the Prime Minister Yitzhak Shamir. It's reported over. He was close with the Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abu Chatzera, and other stories also. A former minister, I think, came to him to receive a bracha one time for the success even of a political party, and salvation, I think, had come within regards to that. So he was highly respected, not just from great people that would want to learn from him. It was actually politicians would come to him. Many people bear fruit from him, and he gave brachot to everybody. So please don't forget to light candles in his memory. Now, friends, we are a community here. We have covered about more than 1,000 videos of great rabbis. If you descend from any great chachamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and you get to see a lot more great video content. Also, if anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, share these videos also to everybody else. Wishing all a Shabbat Tov. Just came out of Shabbat Parashat Chukat this Shabbat. Very good Shabbat it was. And coming into Parashat Balak next week, calling this the city of Bet Shemesh. From me, good night. Shavuot and Barach. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you.